Hello. So today I thought we would explore some traditional yoga poses, and I don't know about you, but I know for me, being still is really hard. It's just not part of my lifestyle, and with everything that's happened recently, I've kind of been forced to take a look at that, and I thought that keeping the number 7, which is seen as the number of completion, in mind, that we'd explore some traditional poses and try to hold them for 7 breaths. So let's see how that goes. We're gonna start sitting in a comfortably seated position. And remember, if anything I'm doing here doesn't feel right, you either have an injury or your body's just not feeling it today, don't feel like you have to do it. As always, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me and I could try to answer. But find a comfortably seated position. It does not have to be Sukhasana. You could sit in hero, staff, lotus, half lotus, whatever feels good to you. However you choose to sit, we're going to sit tall. So as if there were a string at the crown of your head and someone were pulling you up. We're going to inhale our shoulders up wherever we are, exhale them, roll them back and down, and just do that 2 more times. And then try to leave the shoulders dropped back and down. It's going to naturally open the heart center. Place your hands wherever you're comfortable. We're going to close our eyes. Possible we close our lips. Drops the body's temperature inside. It helps us to heat up from the inside out. The warmer we are, the deeper our stretches can be. Less of a chance of injury there is. Begin to relax your face, relax your jaw. If the top and bottom rows of teeth are touching, slightly separate them. If your tongue is pressed to the roof of your mouth, drop it down. And begin to deepen the breath. As you deepen the breath, feel the belly begin to respond. As you inhale, it expands, pressing outward. As you exhale, the belly button gets pulled back, drawn back towards the spine. We're going to use our breath to guide us through a body scan. So with your eyes closed, you're going to shift your mental focus to your feet, starting with your toes. On every inhalation, I want you to move your focus upward through the body. And as you're concentrating on a particular part of the body, you can move it around, do little mini stretches, do a little self-massage, whatever helps you to assess how you feel physically today. What we're looking for here is anything that calls out to us that says, I don't feel right, I'm tired, I'm sore, I'm stiff, I'm stuck. And if that's the case, be aware of it so that throughout your practice you can honor your individual needs. So continue to breathe, do a physical assessment, little inventory here. Once you see how you're feeling physically, and if you still need some time to do that, take the time. Once you get a general idea, take a moment and set an intention for your practice. What's one thing you want to get out of it today? And with that, I'm going to invite you to gently open your eyes, and we're going to start with a simple vinyasa to wake up the spine and the hips. So find a cross-legged position, either Sukhasana, lotus, half lotus. Cobblers could work here as well. We're going to place our hands palms down at our knees. We're going to inhale around the back and lean back. As you exhale, you're going to rotate clockwise. You're going to open the heart center, press it forward, and continue to breathe. So remember, 7 breaths. So this is 2. Now, don't worry about how fast or how slow I'm moving. Don't worry if your breaths are shorter than mine or longer than mine. Just follow your breath. Two more here. One last time around in this direction. And then we're gonna sit tall. We're gonna inhale our arms upward. As we exhale, we're gonna bring the left hand to the right leg. The right hand comes behind the back, with the base of your right hand against the base of the sacrum. Inhale, sit tall. As you exhale, start with the bottommost vertebrae. Just turn to the right until the head comes around lastly. And then you're gonna hold, once again, 7 breaths. On that 7th breath, on the exhalation, allow the head to come around first, bringing with it the rest of the spine. Placing both hands in front of the legs, we inhale, lift the heart, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, take a walk here. And as we come on down, the crown of the head is neutral. So we're not dropping the chin, we're not lifting it up. We want to point that crown of the head straight ahead, trying to align it somewhat with the tailbone, keeping the glutes matted. 4 more breaths here. And then on that 7th breath, we're gonna walk ourselves back up. If you are in Sukhasana, cross-legged pose, whatever leg's in front will be tucked behind. If you're in a half lotus, whichever leg was on top will come underneath. Placing our palms back to our knees, we're gonna go back to that rotational vinyasa, but counterclockwise direction this time. So inhale, we round. Exhale, we take it around. Two more breaths, just like that. One more time around. And then when you're ready, we sit tall, inhaling both arms up. Exhaling the right hand to the left leg. Left hand sets up against the sacral area. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, begin to turn to the left. Again, the head is the last thing to come around. And breathe deeply. And on that 7th breath, on the exhalation, allow the head to come around first, bringing with it the rest of your spine. One center, placing both hands in front of the legs. We inhale, sit tall. Exhale, take a walk. We hold and breathe. Now, where should you feel this? A lot of times people ask me that. Depends on your body, where you may be tightest. It could be the lower back. It could be the hips. 3 more breaths here. It's so tempting oftentimes in yoga to jump out of a pose, to move out of it quickly. On our next inhalation, we come on up. Let's take 1 more deep breath here before moving to all fours. So I thought that if we used that little rule of 7, it might challenge us to stay focused on the pose, focused on being still. Take your time getting to all fours, and once you do, set up a good foundation. So we're going to spread our fingertips out nice and wide. We're going to stack our wrists under our elbows under our shoulders. We're going to clean off our mat, whatever I just picked up. We want our knees underneath our hips. And the crown of our head neutral. 7 series of cat and cow, or cow and cat. We're going to inhale, drop the tummy, lift the tailbone, reach the crown of the head upward. As we exhale, we're going to begin to scoop the pelvis under, round the spine 1 vertebrae at a time, gaze downward. That's 1 breath. 6 more, just like that. I'm going to cue up some music. Keep breathing and keep flowing. Two more breaths. Last one. Once you've completed that series, coming to neutral spine, inhaling here. Exhale your right hip towards your right shoulder, shoulder towards hip. Look over the right shoulder, and you hold this crescent shape and breathe. 7 breaths. On that 7th breath, we're going to inhale ourselves to neutral spine. Exhale, left hip towards left shoulder, shoulder towards hip, looking over that left shoulder. Breathe deeply. Two more breaths here. And on that next inhalation, come back to neutral spine. Bring the big toes together. Drop your glutes to your heels. Slide your hands up. Bring your forehead to rest. 7 breaths in our extended child's pose. As you hold your extended child's pose, I want you to spread your fingertips out wide. Press down through the palms. It's going to activate the shoulders. Learn that music a little bit. 2 more breaths here. And on our next inhalation, we're going to come back to all fours. Now, I don't think you have a full shot of me here. I'm not great in the filming department, so you're going to have to trust me. We're going to extend our left leg behind us. We're going to flex that foot so that the toes point down to the mat, and then we're going to extend our right arm straight ahead. So the leg is coming directly out of the hip, the arm directly out of the shoulder, crown of the head is neutral. And we're going to breathe, again, 7 breaths, so we're at about 3 here. If you'd like to add a balance challenge, you can lift the right foot off the mat, coming to the top of that kneecap, but if there's pain here, I want you to stay away from that. 2 more breaths. And then on the next breath, on the exhalation, come back to all fours, being mindful that the wrists are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips. When you're ready, extend your right leg behind you, again, flexing that foot. Reach forward with that left arm. Hold and breathe. And as we hold our spinal balance pose, remember, you're not just holding the limbs up, you're reaching in opposite directions, like someone were playing tug of war with you. Again, you can lift that left foot off the mat if you'd like. 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, back to all fours. We're going to come into a counter stretch here, cat pulling its tail. If you can't reach the foot, all I want you to do is bend the knee and bend the elbow so that the sole of your foot is pointed towards the ceiling and your fingertips as well. But if you can, we're going to extend that left leg behind us, right arm straight ahead as you inhale. Exhale, bend the left knee, reach behind the body for that foot. Have a little dynamic tension here, so the foot presses into the hand pulls the foot. 4 more breaths. On your next inhalation, don't just drop the limbs, extend them. And then exhale back to all fours, and we're going to switch sides. Inhaling the right leg behind us, left arm straight ahead. Exhaling, bend that right knee, reach behind the body with that left hand for the top of the foot. And breathe. 2 more breaths. And then on your next inhalation, again, actively extend in opposite directions. Exhale back to all fours. Now that the spine is warmed up a bit, let's come back to that extended child's pose and breathe. 2 more breaths. And on your next inhalation, come back to all fours. We're gonna tuck our toes under right where they are. We're gonna press into our downward facing dog. So the calves and Achilles may not be warm yet. You wanna pedal your feet a little bit. I'm gonna move my mat up just a little bit, maybe you'll see me better, I'm not sure. So right now we're just holding our downward facing dog, waking up the calves and Achilles by pedaling the feet, inhaling and exhaling as we do so. Let's do one more series just like that. And then I'm gonna invite you to roll to the balls of both feet and then press both heels down. So fingers are spread nice and wide. We're lifting our tailbone, we're pressing the heels to the mat, our hearts towards our thighs. 5 more breaths here. Every exhalation, your heart gets a little closer to the thighs, your heels get a little closer to the earth. 1 more breath here. And then we're gonna inhale here, exhale, press into your plank. So in our plank, we're pressing back with our heels. Crown of the head is neutral. If you're looking for a modification, lower your knees right where they are. Continue to breathe, 5 more breaths. Last one. And then we're gonna inhale back to our downward facing dog, 7 breaths. If your wrists don't like this, come down to your forearms. You just wanna be mindful that your elbows are underneath your shoulders if you choose to do that. What you do with your hands is up to you. And then you can press back into dolphin. 3 more breaths. Inhaling here. Exhale once again into plank. We're getting nice and warm now. On our next breath, on the exhalation, we're going to come into chaturanga. We're not going to hold chaturanga for 7 breaths, don't worry. We're going to inhale here, exhale, elbows hug the ribs. We slowly lower, lead with your heart, then roll through. Release your body, release your toes. Hands are near shoulders, elbows are back towards feet. Inhale, press down with the pelvis. Roll the shoulder blades back. Breathe in cobra, 7 breaths. On your next breath, on the exhalation, come on down, nice and slow. Inhale, press up to all fours. Slide your knees under your hips. And now that our shoulders are nice and warm, we're gonna give them a good stretch. We're gonna turn our left fingertips to the right. Take the right arm, thread it underneath the left until you can go no further, then come down to rest on the right side of your head. Here you can keep the left hand where it is, or if you'd like, you could drop it behind your back and breathe. If your left hand's behind your back, place it back down. Inhale, press back to all fours, turn fingertips forward, and let's switch sides. So right fingertips to the left, take the left arm, thread it through till you can go no further, and come down to rest. And again, the right hand could be where it is, or you could drop it behind your back. if that right hand's behind the back, let's place it down. Inhale into all fours as we turn our fingertips forward. So with wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, tuck the toes under, and once again, let's press into our downward facing dog. 7 breaths. We're going to inhale in our downward. Exhale, shift into our plank. Now, instead of holding plank for 7 breaths here, I'm going to give you 2 options. You can either come back to all fours and explore a modified side plank, and I'll show you what that looks like. So if we're exploring a modified side plank, we're going to extend our left leg and plant our foot like a kickstand, and then peel the left arm up. If we're looking for a full side plank, from your plank, we're simply going to roll to the right and extend that arm. We're pressing up through the right hip here. On our next breath, on the exhalation, we're going to come back to either plank or modified plank. If we're in our modified plank, we're on all fours, we're going to extend that right leg, planting that foot, peeling that right arm into the sky. If we're holding a full plank, we're simply rolling to the left. Now, in your full side plank, you can stack that top foot on top of the bottom foot. You can keep it in front of that bottom foot. You can lift that leg in the air. 4 more breaths. On your next breath, on the exhalation, come back to plank or to all fours. If you're in a full plank, we're going to release our knees so we're all at the same starting point. Bring those big toes together. We're going to sit back on our heels. Now, if you want to stretch your shoulders, keep the hands up straight ahead, extended child's pose. If you want to relax your shoulders, bring your hands back by your feet, round the shoulders, and let the forehead rest. On your next breath, you're going to reach those hands up high. Inhale to all fours, tuck the toes under. Exhale to downward. We're going to inhale our left leg up for 3-legged dog. So we're pressing that right heel down, pushing that left heel up. 7 breaths. On your next breath, on the exhalation, we're going to bring that left leg through our hands. If it doesn't make it on its own, you can use your left hand to help it along. We want the left knee tracking over that left ankle. Right leg is nice and long. Now you can drop the right knee to the mat if you like, or simply press back with the right heel. Either way, we want to peel our hearts from that left thigh and come into either a crescent lunge or modified crescent. 7 breaths. On our next breath, on the exhalation, we're going to bring our hands to the mat. Now, if you're in a modified lunge, you want to tuck your right toes under and lift that knee from the mat. So we're all in the same position here. Now we're going to slide that left foot back to meet the right, back to our downward facing dog. Then we're going to inhale that right leg up. Flex that foot. Press that heel to the sky as you press that left heel to the earth. And breathe. And on our next breath, on the exhalation, we're going to draw that right foot through the hands. Again, tracking the right knee over the right ankle. Get that left leg as long as you can. Either drop the knee or stabilize by pressing back with that heel. Feel your heart from the right thigh and inhale yourself on up and breathe. Check your jaw here. See if you're clenching your teeth, if your tongue is pressed to the roof of your mouth. Try to relax the face. Let that breath flow. Let's inhale here. Exhale, release those hands to the mat. Now again, if you're in a modified lunge, you're tucking your left toes under, lifting the knee from the mat. Then from this point, we slide that right foot back to meet the left. Downward facing dog. 7 breaths. On your next inhalation, lift that left leg up. Exhale, step it through the hands. Again, if it doesn't make it on its own, you take that hand, you help it along. We're going to take half a step in with our right foot and plant it, preparing for warrior one. So your right foot's matted, your toes on the right foot are turned out to 1 or 2 o'clock. Left knee's tracking over left ankle, left toes are straight ahead. We're going to get our torso parallel to our mat. Bring your arms out in a T. So your chest is not resting on that thigh. You're simply hovering. On your next inhalation, you use the crown of your head to guide you up to warrior one. Now if your arms are tired, they don't have to be in the air. They could be at your heart. They could be at your sides. They could be behind your back. Whatever feels good to you. 7 breaths here. On your next breath, on the exhalation, we're going to reach forward. So your hands can be straight ahead. They could be in a T. They could be behind you. You want the crown of your head straight ahead. You want a good support in the knee, so a nice bend. And then we're going to bend a little deeper in that left leg. I'm going to go out of frame, but we're going to straighten that left leg as we reach the right leg behind us, coming into warrior 3. So I'm going to back up a little so you have a little more of an idea. So again, arms can be wherever you'd like them to be. 3 more breaths. Soften that left knee, hinge back, hopefully more gracefully than I did. Back to your warrior one. We're going to inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, release the arms. And I'm going to turn my body around so that I'm not bringing my back to you. Still same leg. So should we straighten that leg? We're turning out the right foot now so it's aligned with the edge of your mat. Now your torso may want to push forward. Bring it back so that your shoulders and hips are aligned. Inhale the arms in a T. Exhale, reach out over those left toes until you can't go anymore. Then drop that left hand, reach that right hand up for your triangle. Triangle doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to be down to the ground, especially if that makes you collapse. You want a nice open heart center. 4 more breaths. And on our next inhalation, use the right arm to pull you on up. Exhale, release. We're gonna soften this left knee so that we can step this right foot forward to meet it. I'm gonna come back to this side of the frame. Just stand in Tadasana, stand in mountain pose. 7 breaths. Try to recenter. Two more breaths. If your eyes were closed, we open them here. We inhale our arms around. Exhale, take a step back with that left foot as we bend that right knee for Warrior One. Now remember, Warrior One, shoulders and hips should be aligned. So if that left hip is pulling back, bring it forward so it's parallel to the edges of your mat. Arms can be wherever you'd like. 4 more breaths. And we're going to inhale here. Exhale. Everything from the hips down stays where it is. Get that torso parallel to your mat once again. Once you start feeling the energy build in this right hip, we're going to use it. We're going to bend a little deeper in that right knee. We're going to lift the left leg behind us and hold and breathe. Soften that knee as we come back to our Warrior One. We're going to straighten that front leg, release those arms and turn that left foot out. Once again, coming into our triangle. We're going to ignore the vacuum we hear in the other room because somebody clearly broke a cereal bowl. We're going to inhale our arms in a T. Exhale, reach out over the top of the mat so you can't anymore, then drop that right arm as we lift that left arm up. 7 breaths. And on our next inhalation, use that left arm to pull you on up. Exhale, release. We're going to soften this right knee as we step forward with that left foot. Back to Tadasana. 7 breaths. Trying to hold on to our patience with our bodies, our patience with being still, patience with our children. We're going to gently open our eyes here. So we're going to transition into Warrior Two. I'm going to do this with my right foot, even though we're going to start with our left again so that I don't turn my back to you. But we're going to inhale our arms around and up. We're going to exhale. We're going to swan dive. So your legs are straight, your back is flat. You're leading with your heart. And then when you feel that tension in the hamstrings, you can soften into a forward bend. Let's hang out here for 7 breaths. So the crown of your head dangles to the earth. Your sacral area presses to the sky. Your heart towards your thighs. Feel free to nod the head. Yes, shake it. No. We're just lengthening our hamstrings. 4 more breaths. And then we're going to inhale, straighten the legs, flatten the back, look on up for our monkey pose. Exhale, squat, plant the palms. We're going to step back with the right foot, turn it out so that your toes are pointed to the right edge of your mat. So your left toes are straight ahead, your left knee is tracking over that left ankle, right leg is completely straight with your foot turned out to that edge of the mat. We're going to reach over the top of the mat with our right arm, and then on our next inhalation, we're going to windmill up to our warrior two. So for warrior two, we don't want that back hip pulled up. We want to pull it back, just like we did in our triangle pose. We want our shoulders and hips aligned and facing the right edge of the mat. Hold your arms and breathe. On your next breath, on the exhalation, you can either bend that left elbow, hinge at the waist, and rest it on the thigh, or you can simply slide that hand down, coming into a side angle. So we can hold our side angle for 7 breaths like this. We could drop that right arm behind the back if we like, maybe thread that bottom arm through for a bind. If you are in a bind at this point, we are going to release it. And then on your next inhalation, use that right arm to pull you back to your warrior two. Exhale, drop that right arm, lift the left arm up, coming into peaceful warrior. Bend that left knee, don't let it straighten, and breathe. On your next inhalation, back to your warrior two. We're going to straighten that front leg, release the arms, heel toe that right foot in until you can safely step it forward. Coming back to Tadasana, 7 breaths. And then on our next breath, inhaling the arms on up. Exhale, swan dive. So again, straight legs, flat back, lead with your heart. When you feel the tension in the hamstrings, you soften into your forward bend. I'm gonna come back into the screen. 7 breaths here. Again, feeling free to nod the head or shake it no. You can always hug your body to your legs as well, or cup your elbows and dangle, whatever helps you to get the stretch in the hamstrings the best way possible. 3 more breaths here. And then we inhale for monkey, so we straighten the legs, flatten the back, lift that up. Exhale, squat, plant the palms, step back with the left foot this time so that the right foot is straight ahead. My back's gonna be to you, but I feel like you saw where I went last time, so you should be okay. So right toes are straight ahead, left leg is back with your left foot turned out so that the toes are pointed to the left edge of the mat. Reach over the top of the mat with your left arm. On your next inhalation, use it to pull you up to your warrior two. Now again, if that back hip's pulled forward, we want to pull it back, stacking shoulders over hips. Arms are strong. Breathe. On your next breath, on the exhalation again, you can bend that elbow, hinge at the waist, or simply slide that hand down, coming into your side angle. Side angle can be held here. You can drop that hand behind the back. You could thread that arm through, coming into a bind. And if you're in a bind, we're going to release that. On your next inhalation, use that left arm to pull you back to your warrior two. Drop that left hand, reach that right arm up, peaceful warrior. And on our next inhalation, back to our warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Release the arms, heel toe that left foot forward so you can safely step forward to Tadasana. 7 breaths. We're almost there. And let's open our eyes. So I'm just going to turn my body so that you could see me a little bit better for this. We're going to explore chair. A few things to know about chair. If you have bad knees like I do, you really want to be mindful of where those knees are tracking. We never want them over the toes. We always want them back over the ankles. If in your chair stance you choose to bring your feet together, you really want to work on your balance here. Then your knees are going to touch when you're down in that chair. If you are in feet hip width apart, the knees aren't touching, they are hip width apart as well. What you do with your hands is up to you. If you really want to work on shoulder strength, you can have your arms extended. If your shoulders are not feeling it today, hands at your heart, hands on your hips, that doesn't matter. What we really want to look for here is sitting back with our seat and lifting with our heart. So when you are ready, we inhale here. We're going to exhale, take a seat. And again, if you have knee issues, lift your toes. That's going to help you to get those knees over the ankles. And we're going to breathe and hold 7 breaths. On your next breath, we're going to rise and bring your hands to your heart. So now I'm going to invite everyone to bring their feet together. We're going to come into chair and we're going to really challenge ourselves here. If at any point you need a break, take a break. We're going to sit in chair for 7 breaths and then we're going to come into twisting chair. The one thing I want to mention with twisting chair is oftentimes when we twist, the lower half of the body goes to twist as well, and you lose that alignment of the knees touching. I really want you to squeeze those knees together so that the twist is in the torso. So when you're ready, inhale here. Exhale, everybody hands to your hearts and take a seat. So again, if you have bad knees, lift your toes. Feet are touching, knees are touching, heart center's open. 4 more breaths. On your next breath, on the exhalation, we're going to bring our left elbow to the outside of our right leg. And we're going to pull that right shoulder back. Try to get the palms near the breastbone. You can keep your hands here. You can open things up. 4 more breaths. If the arms are open, bring the hands back together. Inhale, center, come up, give those legs a break a moment. Exhale, take a seat. 7 breaths. Let's try something different here. Let's inhale up. Exhale, come down. Bring that right elbow to the outside of that left leg. Pull that left shoulder back and breathe. Inhale, let's come up. Exhale, release. Good job. Just step it out a minute. All right, so we're going to, before last minute stretches in Shavasana, we're going to explore some balance options here. Sometimes it's a say as, or do as I say, not as I do. But we want our feet hip width apart to start. You can start with your hands on your hips, hands out to the side, whatever helps you with your balance. We're gonna soften the left knee. We don't wanna lock the left knee, it's soft. We're gonna lift the right leg, and this could be it for you. This could be your balance pose. So remember, 7 breaths here. If you'd like, we're gonna make a shelf with that left knee. Turn that right knee out, rest that right ankle there. Again, if this helps, we're gonna come down to standing pigeon. And 7 breaths, breathe. On your next inhalation, we're going to try to come out of it how we came into it. And again, shake it out if that works. When you're ready, find your foundation. Hands either at your hips, at your heart, out in a T. Soften the right knee this time. Lift the left leg. And you could stay right here. This is a beautiful balance pose. If you'd like, make a shelf with the right knee as you turn the left knee to the left, making a shelf for that ankle. You could stay there, or you could come on down. 7 breaths. On your next inhalation, we rise and release. Again, step it out. Inhale, arms around and up. Exhale, swan dive. Legs are straight, back is flat. Lead with your heart. Soften to your forward bend. Inhale for monkey. Exhale, squat. Plant the palms, step back 1 foot at a time to your plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Roll through, release your body. Release your toes. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, press up to all fours. Open your knees to the left, to the right. Let your belly fall through and enjoy a restorative child's pose. We're going to slide our hands near our knees. Roll yourself up slowly. Bring those legs together. Bring your hands to one side and swing your legs around. We're going to slowly make our way to our backs. And we're going to open our hips with a supine pigeon. So we're going to start by crossing our left ankle over the right knee, just like we did about a minute ago standing. We want to flex that left foot. It's going to protect the knee. We're going to take this right leg, draw it into your heart. Thread your hands through to interlace them behind that right thigh. And with every exhalation, you're going to pull that right leg closer to your heart. Not a yank, a gentle guide. We have about 4 more breaths here. On your next breath, on the exhalation, release the legs. And then we're going to switch sides. So we're going to cross that right ankle over the left knee, flexing that right foot, turning the right knee to the right. Slowly draw that left leg into the heart, interlacing the hands behind that left thigh. And breathe.
Beautiful. Let's slowly release those legs. Bring your arms out in a T. Inhale, squeeze both knees up to your chest. Exhale, slowly lower them to the left of your mat. And if your neck doesn't mind, look over the right arm. On your next inhalation, draw your knees up. Come back to center. Exhale, drop them to the right of your mat and look over the left arm. 7 breaths. And on your next inhalation, draw those knees back to center. Hug them to your chest, and if it feels good, rock side to side. Now at this point, if you want to pause and you want to do any last minute stretches that you feel that your body needs before Shavasana, you can take the time to do that. When you are ready for Shavasana, I'm going to invite you to find a position that feels best to you. If you have lower back issues, you may want to keep your knees bent and your feet planted. If you have a healthy lower back, corpse pose, just let everything relax. Whatever position you've chosen, let's find it. Close your eyes, close your lips, relax your face, relax your jaw. Separate the top and bottom rows of teeth. Drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Focus on your breath. Listen to the soft whisper it makes. On your next inhalation, with your eyes closed, I want you to picture the number 1. As you exhale, picture the number 2. With your eyes closed, count all the way up to 10. Once you see the number 10, take a deep, deep cleansing breath in and just let it go. Begin to allow your breath to come back to normal. Make small movements with the fingers and toes. Feel the weight of your body on your mat and the softness of the air around your body. And then gently roll onto your side, using your bottom arm as a pillow. And then slowly begin to press yourself upward to a comfortably seated position. We're going to take one more moment now for our own intentions. Use this time for prayer. You can use it to think of something you're grateful for. Maybe set a goal for the rest of your day. Let's gently open our eyes. And one more time together, we breathe in and reach upward. Exhaling our hands to our hearts. May light, love, and peace be with you all. It was a pleasure practicing with you. Namaste. And have a great day, everyone.